Have you ever stopped to think about why some people seem to succeed effortlessly while others struggle their entire lives, despite having the same opportunities, the same education, or even the same talents? Why does one person seem to attract success, happiness, and fulfillment, while another works hard every day but still feels stuck? The difference is not luck, it is not wealth, connections, or timing. The difference lies in one invisible yet incredibly powerful thing: personal philosophy. Your personal philosophy is the set of beliefs, values, and principles that guide the way you think, the decisions you make, and ultimately the life you live. It is the unseen blueprint that silently shapes your actions and molds your results. And here's the truth most people never realize: their life is nothing more than a reflection of their philosophy. Change your philosophy and you change your life. Stay stuck in old thinking, and no amount of hard work will ever get you to where you truly want to go. Think about this for a moment. Every decision you've ever made, every path you've chosen, every success or failure you've experienced, traced back to your philosophy, is strong, clear, and focused on growth. It will naturally guide you toward the right choices. If it is weak, confused, or negative, it will steer you toward mediocrity, frustration, and missed opportunities. Your philosophy is like a compass. The direction it points determines where your life will go. And here is the most important part: your philosophy is not something you are born with. It is something you develop, refine, and choose. It is shaped by the people you surround yourself with, the knowledge you absorb, and the experiences you allow to teach you. It is built day by day, decision by decision. And when you take control of your personal philosophy, you take control of your destiny. You move from drifting aimlessly in life to steering with purpose, direction, and confidence. Now, I want you to understand why this matters more than anything else you might learn today. Most people spend their entire lives chasing motivation, chasing luck, or chasing opportunities outside themselves. They look for external solutions to internal problems. But the truth is, lasting success, fulfillment, and freedom don't come from external forces. They come from what's inside your mind. Your personal philosophy is the internal force that determines whether you rise above challenges or get crushed by them. In the next few minutes, I will take you on a journey to understand how your philosophy can become your most powerful tool. You will learn how to develop principles that guide your life, how to make decisions with clarity, and how to create habits that reflect the person you truly want to become. By the end of this talk, you will understand why mastering your personal philosophy is not just important, it is essential. It is the key that unlocks your potential, elevates your thinking, and transforms your life in ways you may have never imagined. So stay with me, because what you are about to discover is the hidden engine behind every great life, every lasting achievement, and every story of success. If you are ready to stop drifting, start thinking clearly, and take charge of your life, then this message is for you. Your philosophy is your life's compass, and it's time you take hold of it. Many people go through life wondering why they keep encountering the same challenges, the same obstacles, and the same frustrations year after year. They work hard, they try different strategies, yet somehow the results never seem to match their effort. The truth is, the results you get in life are not random. They are a direct reflection of your personal philosophy. Your philosophy is the foundation of your life. It is the lens through which you see the world, the filter that determines your choices, and the engine that drives your results. Think about it this way: two people can start with the same education, the same talents, and the same opportunities. One will struggle for years, barely keeping up, while the other will thrive, grow, and achieve remarkable success. What's the difference? It's not luck. It's not connections, it's philosophy. One person has developed a philosophy of growth, responsibility, and possibility. The other has allowed limiting beliefs, doubts, and excuses to guide their thinking. And those beliefs, sometimes hidden, sometimes obvious, determine every decision, every action, and every result. Your philosophy shapes your life in a very simple but profound way. It tells you what is possible, what is acceptable, and what you can achieve. It acts like an invisible map, guiding your choices long before you even realize it. If your philosophy is weak or confused, you will drift through life, reacting to circumstances, hoping for luck, and blaming the world when things go wrong. If your philosophy is strong, clear, and focused on growth, you will take control, make confident decisions, and create results that reflect your highest potential. Here's an example. Imagine two people who face the same setback: a business fails, a relationship ends, or a dream doesn't materialize. One person sees failure as proof that life is unfair, that success is impossible, or that they're destined to struggle. Their philosophy tells them that setbacks are permanent, so they give up, retreat, and settle for less. The other person sees the same setback as feedback, as a lesson, as a stepping stone toward growth. Their philosophy tells them that challenges are temporary, that effort and learning lead to improvement, and that they have the power to shape their own future. Which person do you think will ultimately succeed? The answer is obvious, and the difference is not circumstance, it's philosophy. Your philosophy also influences the quality of your relationships, your career, your health, and your financial life. If you believe that people are generally trustworthy, kind, and generous, you will build stronger connections, create opportunities, and attract like-minded individuals. If your philosophy is one of fear, suspicion, or scarcity, you will struggle to build meaningful relationships, miss opportunities, and encounter unnecessary conflict. The same principle applies to work and personal achievement. Your beliefs about money, success, and personal potential will determine the choices you make every day, and those choices compound into the life you ultimately live. The key takeaway here is simple. If you want to change your results, you must first change your thinking. Personal growth begins with personal philosophy. You must examine the beliefs you've inherited, question the assumptions that guide your life, and actively choose principles that support your highest vision. This is not a one-time exercise. It is a lifelong commitment. Every new experience, every challenge, and every lesson is an opportunity to refine your philosophy and strengthen your internal compass. Remember, this success is not something you chase. It is something you attract by the person you become. And the person you become is shaped by your philosophy. Your philosophy tells you what you can achieve, how to respond to challenges, and what kind of life you deserve. It is the invisible framework behind every visible result. So if you want to elevate your life, start by elevating your thinking. Examine your philosophy, refine it, strengthen it, and watch how it transforms your actions, your decisions, and ultimately your destiny. One of the greatest truths in life is also one of the hardest to accept. You are responsible for your life. Not your parents, not your boss, not the economy, not your circumstances, you. Taking responsibility is the foundation of personal power, the starting point of success, and the only way to create lasting change. Yet most people spend their lives blaming others, making excuses, and waiting for someone or something outside themselves to change their situation. And that is exactly why they remain stuck. Think about it. When you blame others for your failures, you give away your power. You become a victim of circumstances, a passenger in your own life, drifting wherever the winds of fate take you. Excuses are comfortable. They allow you to avoid action, avoid growth, and avoid accountability. But comfort never creates success. Growth begins when you step up, look in the mirror, and say, "This is my life, and I am responsible for it." Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself unnecessarily, nor does it mean guilt or shame. It means acknowledging that your choices, past and present, shape your results. Every decision you make, every action you take is either moving you closer to your goals or further away from them. When you understand this principle, something powerful happens. You stop being a passive observer of your life and start becoming its architect. You realize that while you cannot control everything that happens, you can control how you respond. And how you respond is everything. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people losing their jobs. One person reacts with anger, resentment, and blame. They tell themselves it's the company's fault. I didn't deserve this. No one appreciates me. They feel justified in their frustration, but what do they gain? Nothing. Opportunities pass them by because they are stuck in negativity. Now, the second person looks at the same situation and says, I may have lost this job, but I am still responsible for my future. I will learn from this, improve my skills, and create new opportunities. They take ownership of what is within their control, their mindset, their effort, their choices. This simple act of taking responsibility transforms a setback into a stepping stone. The first person remains stagnant while the second grows, adapts, and ultimately succeeds. Responsibility is not just about responding to challenges, it is about proactively designing your life. It is the difference between reacting to circumstances and creating circumstances. People who take responsibility do not wait for luck, they create it. They do not wait for motivation, they generate it. They do not wait for opportunities, they position themselves to recognize and seize them. In short, responsibility is the engine that drives personal freedom. The most successful people in the world share this one trait. They accept full responsibility for their lives. They do not blame the economy, their upbringing, or other people. They look inward first. They ask themselves, what can I do differently? How can I improve? What is my role in creating the result I want? This mindset creates a powerful ripple effect. Once you embrace responsibility, every choice becomes intentional, every action purposeful, and every result a reflection of your commitment to growth. Here's the bottom line: until you take full responsibility for your life, nothing will truly change. You will continue to drift, hoping for external solutions, blaming others, and feeling frustrated. But when you step up and own your life, something incredible happens. You become unstoppable. Responsibility gives you control, freedom, and the power to shape your destiny. So today, start by asking yourself this question: am I taking responsibility for the life I want, or am I letting circumstances control me? Examine your decisions, your habits, and your responses. Own them, learn from them, and then take action. Because the moment you embrace responsibility, you stop being a victim, you start being a leader. And that is where true success begins. If you want to understand why some people achieve extraordinary success while others remain ordinary, you must understand the critical role of standards and values. Your philosophy guides your life, but your standards determine the quality of the life you live. Standards are the boundaries you set for yourself. the expectations you hold, and the non-negotiables that shape your decisions and actions. They are the invisible rules you live by, and they have a greater impact on your life than motivation, luck, or even talent. Let me put it this way: your standards determine your level of performance, your integrity, and the results you produce. If you set low standards, life will deliver exactly that: mediocrity. You will accept what is convenient, easy, or comfortable, and you will rarely stretch yourself to your true potential. But if you set high standards, standards of excellence, honesty, discipline, and growth, you force yourself to rise above excuses, overcome obstacles, and reach levels of achievement that most people only dream about. Values are closely connected to standards. They are the beliefs and principles that guide your behavior and define what is important to you. Your values are your compass. They tell you what matters, what you will stand for, and what you will not compromise. When your actions align with your values, you build integrity, earn trust, and create a sense of purpose that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. When they are misaligned, life feels chaotic, frustrating, and unfulfilling. Consider the difference between two professionals. One accepts whatever work comes their way, does the minimum, and avoids responsibility. Their standard is low, their value for excellence is weak, and their results are predictable, average at best. The other professional sets high standards for quality, discipline, and integrity. They continuously improve, take responsibility, and seek challenges that stretch their abilities. Their value system drives them to excellence, and as a result, they attract opportunities, recognition, and success that far exceed the ordinary. Standards are not about perfection. They are about expectation and consistency. They define how you treat yourself, how you interact with others, and how you navigate life. If you allow yourself to cut corners, compromise principles, or settle for less than you deserve, you are lowering your standard, and the world will adjust to match it. But when you hold yourself accountable to high standards, you create a life that naturally attracts growth, opportunity, and respect. Here's the powerful truth: your standards shape your habits shape your actions, and your actions shape your destiny. Standards are the invisible force behind every decision, every choice, and every result. People who rise above the crowd are not always smarter or luckier. They simply refuse to settle. They refuse to compromise on what matters most. They refuse to let circumstances dictate their potential. And over time, this commitment compounds into extraordinary results. Your values also guide how you handle challenges. When life tests you, and it will, your standards act as an anchor. They keep you from giving up, cutting corners, or compromising your integrity. They give you clarity when making difficult decisions and confidence in pursuing long-term goals. Without clear values and standards, it is easy to be swayed by opinions, distractions, and the pressures of the moment. With them, you stand firm, move with purpose, and achieve with honor. So, what does this mean for you? It means that if you want to elevate your life, you must first define your values and set your standards high. Ask yourself, what do I refuse to compromise on? What principles guide my decisions? What level of quality am I willing to accept in my work, relationships, and personal growth? Once you answer these questions, make a commitment to live by them every single day. Align your actions with your values, raise your standards, and watch as your life transforms. Remember, excellence is not an accident. It is a habit, a choice, and a standard you refuse to compromise. Your standards and values are the foundation of your personal philosophy, and they are the blueprint for a life of success, fulfillment, and lasting impact. One of the most overlooked secrets of success is this: you don't have to learn everything the hard way. Life will always teach lessons, sometimes painfully, but you can accelerate your growth by learning from the experiences of others and seeking guidance from mentors. Your philosophy and standards set the direction, but mentors and life experiences are the vehicles that help you reach your destination faster, more efficiently, and with fewer mistakes. Let's be honest, most people spend too much time stumbling in the dark, trying to figure out life on their own. They repeat the same mistakes, waste precious time, and suffer unnecessary setbacks. The world is full of wisdom, yet so few take advantage of it. Mentors, people who have walked the path you want to walk, provide insight, guidance, and strategies that can save years of trial and error. They show you what works, what doesn't, and what to focus on. They don't just teach you skills, they help you adopt a mindset for success. Mentors are powerful because they offer perspective. They have faced challenges similar to yours, experienced setbacks, and learned lessons the hard way. They provide a roadmap that can guide you through complexity and uncertainty. The real value is not in copying their actions, but in absorbing their thinking habits and philosophies. By learning from mentors, you avoid unnecessary failures and gain clarity about your own potential. But mentors alone are not enough. Life itself is the greatest teacher, and every experience, good or bad, offers a lesson. Challenges, setbacks, and even successes are opportunities to refine your philosophy. A strong personal philosophy means you approach every experience with curiosity, reflection, and the willingness to learn. When you encounter difficulties, instead of complaining or giving up, you ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? How can I improve? Consider the people you admire most, those who have achieved greatness in business, relationships, or personal growth. Almost without exception, they invested time in learning from others and paid attention to their own experiences. They didn't stumble blindly, they sought wisdom, reflected on their experiences, and applied what they learned. This is why they consistently produce results that seem almost effortless to outsiders. It's not luck, it's deliberate learning. Experience and mentorship also teach one critical skill: decision-making. Life is full of choices, and most failures happen because people lack the perspective to make informed decisions. Mentors and past experiences give you a broader understanding of cause and effect, allowing you to make decisions that align with your long-term goals. They help you see the consequences before you act, and that foresight is invaluable. Another important point is that learning is a lifelong process. Even when you become highly successful, there is always someone to learn from, and life will always offer new lessons. Humility is key. You must be willing to listen, observe, and absorb knowledge continuously. If you ever believe you have nothing left to learn, you will stagnate, because growth comes from perpetual learning and adaptation. Finally, remember this: experiences and mentors are mirrors. They reflect your strengths, weaknesses, and blind spots. They push you to grow, challenge your thinking, and expand your philosophy. They reveal what is possible and what must change. But the ultimate responsibility is yours. Knowledge alone does not create results, action does. You must take the lessons, apply them consistently, and integrate them into your personal philosophy. So seek mentors wisely, value the lessons life presents, learn from mistakes, reflect on successes, and adopt a mindset of perpetual growth. By doing so, you accelerate your journey, refine your philosophy, and create a life of purpose, achievement, and impact. The wisdom of others and the guidance of experience are gifts, but only if you use them to shape the person you are becoming. Success is not created overnight, and it is certainly not the result of occasional effort. The results you achieve in life are a reflection of what you do consistently, day in and day out. This is where the power of daily disciplines comes into play. Discipline is the bridge between your personal philosophy and your results. It is the engine that turns your vision, your standards, and your learning into tangible achievements. Without discipline, even the clearest philosophy and the best intentions remain only ideas. Let's be honest, talent, intelligence, and ambition are not enough. Many people have brilliant ideas, high potential, and even great opportunities, but they fail because they lack consistent action. Success is not about how hard you work occasionally, it's about the habits you practice consistently. Daily disciplines, those small, deliberate actions repeated over time, are the invisible force behind extraordinary results. Think of it like this: your life is the sum of your daily choices. What you do consistently, even if it seems small, compounds into significant results over time. Reading for 30 minutes every day may not feel impactful now, but over a year it will expand your knowledge, sharpen your thinking, and open doors you never imagined. Exercising regularly may feel like a small effort, but over time it transforms your health, energy, and vitality. Saving a small portion of your income consistently may seem trivial, but over years it creates financial security and freedom. These are the invisible deposits that compound into a life of success. Daily disciplines also train your character. Every time you choose to do what is right rather than what is easy, you strengthen your integrity, your willpower, and your self-respect. Discipline is not a punishment, it is a tool for freedom. When you master your daily habits, you no longer rely on motivation, luck, or fleeting inspiration. You become consistent, reliable, and unstoppable. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline lasts forever. Consider the difference between two people with similar goals. One waits for motivation, works when they feel like it, and acts only when circumstances are favorable. The other develops daily disciplines. They act consistently even when it's difficult, inconvenient, or tiring. Over time, the first person struggles to achieve results, while the second builds momentum, confidence, and measurable success. Daily disciplines turn ordinary effort into extraordinary outcomes. Here's another key point: disciplines are most effective when aligned with your personal philosophy and values. Reading without purpose, exercising without care, or saving without a goal is just routine. It lacks power. But when your daily disciplines reflect your vision, your standards, and your values, every action becomes a building block for your ideal life. Discipline becomes meaningful, purposeful, and transformational. The challenge is that discipline requires consistency, patience, and sacrifice. There will be days when you feel tired, distracted, or unmotivated. But it is precisely on those days that discipline matters most. Consistent action, even in small doses, produces compound results that far exceed short bursts of effort fueled by temporary motivation. Over months and years, these small actions define the quality of your life. Finally, remember this: your life is not shaped by single dramatic events, but by the invisible repeated actions you take every day. Master your daily disciplines and you master your destiny. Neglect them and your philosophy, values, and dreams remain unrealized. If you want to achieve success, fulfillment, and impact, focus on what you do consistently, refine your habits, and act with purpose. Daily disciplines are not restrictions, they are tools that turn your philosophy into reality. They transform potential into performance, ideas into action, and vision into achievement. Master them, and you unlock the full power of your personal philosophy. Your life will never be the same. At the end of the day, personal success is not just about wealth, recognition, or comfort. True success is measured by the positive difference you make in the lives of others. And the foundation of that difference lies in one simple truth: your personal philosophy determines your influence and impact. The way you think, act, and lead sets the tone not just for your own life, but for the lives of everyone around you. Influence is the natural result of a life lived with integrity, purpose, and consistent action. Think about the people you admire most, the leaders, mentors, and visionaries who inspire you. What sets them apart is not only what they have achieved personally, but also how they have shaped the lives of others. They operate from a philosophy of contribution, generosity, and responsibility. They understand that success is not a zero-sum game. Their achievements are amplified because they uplift those around them, mentor others, and lead by example. Influence is not about position, title, or control. It is about the ability to inspire, guide, and elevate others. The first step in becoming influential is mastering yourself. You cannot lead others if you cannot lead yourself. Your philosophy, habits, and standards determine your character, which is the cornerstone of influence. People are naturally drawn to those who demonstrate consistency, integrity, and courage. When your words align with your actions and your actions align with your values, others respect you, trust you, and are inspired to follow your example. This is why personal philosophy is not just a private matter. It is the silent force that shapes your reputation and your reach. Influence also grows from the wisdom you share. Life will teach you countless lessons, and if you choose to learn from them, you acquire knowledge that can help others avoid mistakes and accelerate their growth. Mentoring, coaching, and simply living as a role model are ways to extend your influence. Every interaction, every conversation, and every decision you make sends a ripple into the lives of others. When your philosophy prioritizes growth, contribution, and integrity, those ripples become waves that touch many lives. Consider the idea of impact. Impact is the measure of how your life affects the world beyond yourself. It is the legacy you leave, the difference you make, and the inspiration you provide. While achievements fade, impact lasts. You may retire, step down, or leave your position, but the values you instill, the guidance you offer, and the example you set continue to influence generations. Influence and impact are the natural extension of a life lived purposefully. Another critical aspect of influence is the courage to stand for what is right. True leaders are not afraid to uphold their principles even when it is unpopular or challenging. Their philosophy gives them strength, clarity, and confidence to make decisions that serve a greater good. People naturally follow those who demonstrate courage and conviction because such individuals provide stability, trust, and inspiration in a world full of uncertainty. Finally, becoming a person of influence and impact requires intentionality. It does not happen by accident. You must choose to cultivate your character, refine your philosophy, and act with purpose. It requires daily disciplines, consistent growth, and a commitment to serve others. But the reward is immense, a life that matters not just to you, but to everyone whose lives you touch. Influence is the ultimate test of personal philosophy in action. It is the visible result of the invisible principles that guide your life. Remember this: the power of your personal philosophy extends far beyond personal achievement. It shapes your actions, defines your character, and determines the mark you leave on the world. By living intentionally, leading with integrity, and committing to growth, you become a person of influence and impact. And in doing so, you create a legacy that far outlasts your own lifetime, a life that inspires, elevates, and transforms others long after you are gone.